Welcome to the Books and Martinis podcast.
I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy.
And this is your go-to book podcast,
where we lift, empower, and spotlight authors.
Grab your martini and follow along.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy. Welcome, everybody, and welcome, Judy. Cheers to Judy joining us again
Judy,
today.
On your latest release.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Salute. We all got martinis this time.
Yes.
I didn't want to be out like last time. I love this in the martini glass.
I love it. Oh, I'm so excited you're back here with us, Judy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can't tell you how much we enjoyed your book. I thought I'd be a forever fan of Summer on Butterfly Bay because I just absolutely loved it. So I thought, okay, well, that was great. I love it. Whatever. I left it at that. But oh my God, top 5. That was like a whole other thing.
It was so good.
That was so good. I mean, not to take anything away from the other one. It was just as wonderful. But top 5, wow. That was like, I could not say it enough. And it's from the bottom of my heart. I love that book. I could not stop it. Couldn't put it down.
Wow. I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I mean it. This book was everything. I remember talking about it. You were going to be sending it to us during the last interview. We spoke about the cover and how it was going to have everything. There's so much detail inside of your cover.
Mm-hmm.
To those of us that are listening and can't really see it, when you look at the cover of her book, I guess once you read it, you'll see that every single thing has a purpose and a reason for being there.
She put a little diagram on Instagram.
Yes.
Pointing out to all the little details on the cover. So if you go to her Instagram page, her profile, you'll see the diagram pointing to
top 5 things to look for.
Yes.
It's like a little scavenger hunt. I spy with my little eye.
That's right.
All
That's
the things.
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
back to basics.
Now the magic of this book, before we get into it, again, the name is Top 5, but every chapter has a top 5 list. And I love that. I was like, oh my God, this is like genius marketing.
Your nails go so well with it. You went all out.
Oh, yes.
Priya.
Oh, yeah, they do. They do. Wow,
awesome.
I should have had that color.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So there are some of our listeners that don't know you yet. Maybe they didn't listen to the last episode, which they should go back and listen to because it was an amazing book as well. But tell us a little bit about yourself for those that are new.
Well, I am so happy to be here. I'm a lifelong writer, and the first book I ever wrote was when I was, 6 years old, The Bunny and the Eggs. And I did it with my little crayons and masking tape and a stapler. And it's, I remember binding it with masking tape and thinking, this is what a real book looks like. But I've always been a writer, always been a thinker. And I do my best when I'm just creating. So let's see, this is top 5. Prior to that was Summer on Butterfly Bay. Prior to that, I published A Kentucky Hug for Christmas, and then a very tragic love story called This Moment. And I do publish across genres, as I have a Mackenzie Good chapter book series for the kindergarten crowd. Mackenzie Good is always making a mistake, but the beauty is that every single time that she's making a mistake, a grown-up in her life makes a mistake, because I don't know about you, but I'm still making them. Mm-hmm. And I think the most important thing, the takeaway, is we just have to own them and be responsible for them and apologize for them. So Mackenzie learns that. And then I've got a poetry book called Poems on Fruits and Odes to Veggies, where healthy eating starts with a poem.
Oh my goodness. I love all that. I don't think I knew all that from the first one.
No.
From our first interview.
There's the sign from the poetry book.
Oh,
I love that.
Macy's? Is that Macy's at the
bottom?
Yeah,
I did a whole reading at Macy's Reading Circle. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun.
So cute.
Look at you.
Congrats. Full circle healed. I love that. And I'm going to go straight to top 5 because I couldn't get enough of it. Tell me what inspired you to write top 5.
So I always like to put my characters into it. I come up with this concept, right? I come up with an inciting incident, and then I let them get out of it. And the inciting incident for me was a woman who was going to go to the River House. She was pretty much a lifelong list maker because they got her out of spirals. When she was young, very young, her mom passed away. And as a tool to help her when she was sort of having an anxiety attack, her dad started this top 5 thing. Quick, top 5 pizza toppings, top 5 ice cream flavors. And unbeknownst to her, the second she started creating a list, it kind of grounded
Anxiety
her.
calmed down.
It just calmed down. The list making was such a special way for her to soothe herself. So she turned it into a blog, which then got a little attention, became a little bit of a social media celebrity, and got tapped to write a book from a big publishing company. So now she's going to go to this River House and write the book proposal, feeling like a big fat imposter, suffering terrible imposter syndrome because it's going to be so hard to write a book. And who goes up to the River House too, but this man who has stayed away for many, many reasons and many, many years from his ailing father. And he goes up. And I thought to myself, what would happen if these two lost souls connected? And I do love the enemies to lovers trope. So
I
thought,
love that too. That's like my favorite. So
You
right
do?
there,
Yeah.
I was just like, yes.
So that what would happen if they meet, they don't like each other. But then I thought one further step, I wanted a vibe of You Got Mail. I wanted like this sort of secret identity kind of vibe. So that's how he starts accessing her blog.
Right. And he's a hater, let's say that, right? And a bully, a cyber bully and a hater. And you can't help but love him.
Mm.
Well, I think so. You know, I think the thing is, and this to me is just so life, we're all flawed, but he has to eventually own it. And I think the good news about him is that he does eventually own it, but it's also figuring out why you are the way you are. What things have happened?
What took you there?
What took you there? And then, you know, there's such a big message in this book of truth. And the truth is never the wrong thing to share. And he discovers he's got so much pain inside of him. And he says the pain was the lies. All these lies he was keeping from his dad, from himself, from people around him. All those lies were just turning into pain that was all in him. So once he was able to get that out, sort of like Quinn's lists dropped her shoulders. When he was able to tell the truth, it dropped his shoulders.
Yeah, and it's so funny. As soon as you said that, I flipped to chapter 30. And chapter 30, is it okay if I read the top 5?
Please, I love it.
Okay. Witt's top 5 new behaviors: apologizing, telling the truth, at least trying to, crying, crumbling, in public, in private, all of it, reading a room, and playing defense. So right there, he's just like, he's starting to own it.
And I think one of the strongest things, obviously it took all 5 of those things, but I think the power of learning to apologize was huge for him.
Agreed.
He held on to that as if that was a trophy for a long time. Like he had been strong enough to never apologize.
Right.
And he didn't realize that was the biggest weight he had on him.
Right. His biggest albatross was his inability to apologize. And it wasn't that, he couldn't get the words out, but he was, that's how he was raised. We don't say sorry. We just steamroll and bowl people over and move on.
Right. Right. Oh, what a great book. What were your top 5 favorite things about this book? Your personal top 5, right? That's Priya's idea, but I just remember.
Okay. So I think maybe scene-wise, I love when they clash on the bikes, when they're riding the bikes. And I can just so see that because she's saying in her brain, move left, but her brain is making her move right.
She went right.
If you've ever had that experience where you're not doing, you know what you're supposed to do, but you can't get there. So I love that scene. And I love, just no spoiler alert, it's not a big deal, but I love that he carries a Band-Aid with him. And that is such a McLaughlin thing because my husband always carried a Band-Aid. So with growing with the girls, I never had tissues. I didn't have tissues. I didn't have a brush. I'm not really that kind of person, but my husband is so organized. Anyway, if they would be on the playground and fall, and he'd have a Band-Aid. Yep.
That was
always
great.
Had a Band-Aid in his wallet. So that sort of peeked its way into the book. And that's the second one that I love. I love the ants, like so much. Do I love the ants?
Yes. Their
And I love,
personality.
yes, and I
And the
love that.
food connection when they sit and have lemonade
Family,
and
yeah.
Yes,
oh,
and their display of a beautiful marriage, and that that love is really just about kind of like warts and all. Like we don't do it alone. So that one little tiny uh, impatience flower by itself could be all cruddy and dying, but then surrounded by these other gorgeous ones, they bloom. So we need the other impatience to make us who we are. So
That's
I
right.
think one of the ants says that, and I happen to love that. And let's see, the fifth thing are the muffins. No joke, the muffins.
Okay, so wait, what inspired the muffin? Because they're like football sized muffin and they sound so scrumptious.
And it's right here on the cover, right? It's
Yeah, there are, right?
It's on the table right there.
on the table.
So which came first, the muffin or the recipe? So I'm going to say the muffin, my idea of this football size muffin came first because there's nothing I like than like big amounts of food. I don't want like the little tiny mini muffin to pop in my mouth. I want the big one.
Mhm.
And so I came up with this idea of the muffins and this little tiny store called The General. And as I'm talking to a friend of mine, actually, Kathy Cowan from the Cocoa, who'll be interviewing me at my next event, she said, there's a little coffee shop in Summit, New Jersey called Marigold's, and Marigold's makes muffins. You should try to do a collaboration with her. She gave me, I don't know if you can see it, this most amazing muffin recipe. It's in the book, everybody. This muffin recipe is in the book.
Yes, I saw it.
Make it. It is so good. So I went to this place, Marigold's, bought 5 muffins and took one for the team and ate them, just like life imitating art.
Okay.
I ate them all, landed on the carrot, which was the best, made it for my family. They all went crazy. And again, the beauty is in the size of the muffin.
I love that.
And I love that you promote Marigolds at the end of the book. And you put the information down. I love that.
So I think that's 4 things, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'll come up with
one.
And a fifth. What else do I love? Well,
how about at the general store? The general store is his name's Sam.
Sam Jennings, the general.
I love Sam.
Me too.
I love Sam as much as I loved every single character, every single one. The dad, the caretaker, the aunt, the dad.
Yeah.
I loved every single character, but there's just something about Sam. He's that like one special magical human in a lifetime that it just kind of glues everything together. And I could just, I don't know, I pictured him and I loved him.
Thank you.
So
I love him too.
Who's your favorite character in the story?
Oh, that's
so
hard.
Tough. Yeah.
A lot of great characters.
Yeah, I don't know.
That Jamaican aunt.
Who did you identify most with? Who'd you identify most with? Maybe that might help.
I guess I'm going to say Quinn. I identify most with Quinn. I identify with the list making and how that's a very soothing activity. I identify with thinking you've got it all under control, but maybe spiraling a little bit. So yes, I do identify with Quinn.
Okay, good. Yeah, and she's lovely. I mean, I loved everything about her. How did you feel about the connection? Is this something you think you'll do more often moving forward with the connection of the location? Being that I kind of feel like they could be neighbors, these homes in this beautiful area. I feel like it's a thing,
like you're creating a little town.
Like a town, right?
Yeah.
And you know what's so that is my thing. And so after we came up with my artist, the Katrina Eugenia, who paints the covers, we did Butterfly Bay. And then I reached out to her about top 5. And while Butterfly Bay was a real house that existed, still an amalgamation of many different houses, this one we created out of whole cloth. So we made up our own river, we made up our own patio, we made up our own house and the burying of these 5 things. So I created the story without a house in mind, and then she brought the house to life. And yeah, I happen to love the enemies to lovers trope, and I love when a house is a character in the story.
Yes.
Yeah. One of my favorite house character stories is, the Dutch House. Do you ever read The Dutch House? The Dutch House
I never heard of that.
practically talks to you.
Oh.
Yes. The Dutch House is a good book. So I love House as a character.
Okay, go on.
Are you working on a 3rd book to follow up to this and Butterfly Bay?
I am. You know what's so interesting? It's not a country, small town environment. It's big city. So I am trying to think about how I can make the apartment a character.
Could be a condo.
It could be a condo or a lovely brownstone in Brooklyn,
Oh, yes.
or I don't know, but it's in New York City,
Uh-huh.
and I mean I don't I have a title. It's called One Knit Stand, which I think is the funniest title on earth.
Is it over knitting?
It is over knitting.
Really
So
loud.
yes, I've got about 30,000 words, so I'm going to be pushing ahead on that. But I'm trying to figure out how to make a big city environment have that same vibe, and because it can.
Yeah, it definitely
Oh, I
can.
love that.
I mean, there are knitting groups all over the city.
Yes.
So I was thinking like maybe in the third book you can create a map in the front, and you have the two
That's a
houses,
good idea,
and then the house in Brooklyn,
right?
and then you continue it. Every book you add the house to the map.
Oh,
Boy,
I like that
I like that, Priya.
a lot.
I like that. Can you tell she world builds?
Yes, I
She's world building.
Sci-fi is all about maps.
Yeah. So I have a question. What's been the most memorable or surprising piece of feedback you've received from a reader about top 5?
Good or bad?
Well,
You
I'll go
want
with
me to
good.
repeat it?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go with good, and I really haven't received so far any 1 stars. I don't know if you ever read my I did a Substack on 1-star reviews and how offensive they are and hurtful. So this I've not received a 1-star review yet for top 5. I have in life,
Well,
but
how
not for
dare they if they
Yeah.
ever did?
I like that. I have in life.
book, but I'm hearing so much that I connect with people on grief and forgiveness and redemption.
Mm.
And it's a beautiful thing. It warms my heart when people say I touch them in that spot, and that it's romance, but it goes a lot deeper into life. And I create characters. One woman said she wants to be Quinn's best friend, and if not, at least have a coffee and a confession with her.
Ooh.
So I thought, oh, isn't that just
That
made me
is
so
beautiful.
happy? Yeah.
What inspired you to write a book called Top 5? Like, what inspired you with the concept of having 5
because
topics
it's really good marketing
on every single one?
I think we talked about this in a little bit. I like my books to have a little something extra, that it's not just a book that you're reading, but you're getting something different. So, for example, A Kentucky Hug for Christmas, the little something was the song. So the main character is a songwriter, and she writes her own new Christmas song in the book. And in the book, you actually get the song, the lyrics, the sheet music to play. And I people who bought the book also got the sheet music. So it was like a little something extra. Summer on Butterfly Bay, I thought was the novel inside the novel, or the novella inside the novel, where there's the mystical point of view that was a whole novel by itself in the novel. And this one, I decided the something would be these top 5 lists. And I thought, who doesn't like top 5? That's as
Kudos to you.
It reminds me of what's his name that used to do the music list. What's his name? He was so famous. He passed away.
Dick
Clark. Dick Clark. Yeah, it reminds me of that a little
America's
bit.
top
American Top 40. Casey Kasem.
That's
the
one.
That's the one.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have to ask. I'm gonna ask another top 5 question. What are your top 5 tips for writers and authors?
Oh, that's good for you.
Oh, I'm gonna not necessarily go in order of what my number 1 is, because I think if I'm starting, I'm gonna give this one is do not give up. The whole thing behind this is tenacity. You've got to keep going, even when you feel like all the cards are against you, and you keep doing the same thing and reinventing the wheel over and over again. Remind yourself you're doing it because you love to do it, and the stories will follow. So keep at it. Write every day, read every day. Second one is, you cannot be a writer if you're not a reader. Read it all. Read everything, even things that you don't particularly enjoy. Watch how people are building a different world. How do we get the serial killer involved? How do we really frighten somebody? How do we make someone cry? Read it all. Don't stick to your own genre.
I love that you said that, because I don't think I've ever heard that type of advice from any of our authors to read
read it
other
all.
genres and stuff.
Read it all. It's
Yeah.
so interesting. And at the end of the day, no matter what genre you're reading or writing in, I think it all goes back to save the cat. There, no matter what, you have to have that middle save the cat moment. And
Right.
it's so interesting to see how other people do it and get there in different genres, but it's there. So I think it's really fascinating to find it. Let's see, was that 2 or 3?
That was
2.
3.
2. Okay, let's go to the third piece of advice for writing. Consistency. You've got to be consistent with it. You've got to treat it like a job, even if you have another job, which I do. So you've got to get up and do your words. Either, I'm a morning person, so I wake up and tackle my words in the morning. At night, I'm useless. Surround yourself with people who love to read and write. And let me just say, this Bookstagram community and TikTok Book Talk community, I connected with the both of you via Bookstagram.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yes.
I just feel so fortunate. It is really one of the most warm, welcoming communities. And having connected with you, I'm just grateful. And then the other thing is to, once you start connecting, to build like a little, it sounds so cliche, but a platform. Now I have people who've read all 3 of my books who can't wait for the next one. So at the end of the day, I want the big 5 publisher. I want to be discovered. I want more people to read my book, but I'm not going to minimize my current success. Like, this is big. Being here right now with you on this podcast is huge, and I'm grateful.
Aww.
Oh, we're
so
grateful
happy
you're
to
with
hear
us.
you. Yeah.
We absolutely love your books. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I can't say it enough. I just keep yelling it out to everybody.
Well, it's funny because as soon as Mercy finished it, she was just like, I don't know why this is not on like Good Morning America or Today Show. Like, this book,
I swear, I thought like this book is like everything. This book was
the
amazing.
vibe.
And I have to add, there's always that person that judges a book by its cover.
Mhm.
I'm very much like that. If I'm walking around Barnes and Noble and I see a book and it just has like the right shades of pink or red or certain colors that attract me, now I want to know about the book. And I'll be very honest, I absolutely love this book, but it's not a book that I would have gone to the table to grab.
Okay.
It's not. It's just, I usually look for a book like this. Just to give you an example of how deceiving judging a book by its cover can be, right? So I'm going to go look for something that's bloody and vibrant.
Crime novels.
Oh, you
Right.
like, crime
I do
and
love
gore.
crime.
Uh-huh.
But I love stories, but I look for things that are, I think, less detailed.
That you're
My
drawn
key word
to.
is just, I'm just
Yeah.
drawn to them. I'm
Mhm.
very, I don't do prints. I like everything just solids.
Uh-huh.
And that's just who I am. So I would not have gone to the table for it, and I would have missed out on one of my favorite books because
Oh my
this
goodness.
is lifetime one of my favorite books. I absolutely loved it. It's so relevant. It includes everything, and it's so today between her, having her platform and having a hater and having fans and all these great
Mhm.
things. And I don't think that the cover tells you how trendy and to date this book really is, because it gives you a smoother feel of like a country vibe,
Right.
right?
Small town, place
So
you want to
small town.
live.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So I thought I would have totally missed out on this had I not found you on Bookstagram
Wow.
and had I not realized what an amazing writer you are and had read this one. So this one I might have gravitated because it in my
The
color
colors.
scheme,
Color
right?
scheme, your pinks and your uh-huh.
Right. So when you said you were going to send top 5, I was like, all right, I don't know what that could be about, but hey, I'll look at it. I'll look at it because we get so many books.
Yes.
And I kid you not, we get like tons and tons of books and they just stack up and Priya and I are like overwhelmed with books.
Right.
But I always start them. And I think this is just my opinion. Life is too short to read a book you're not enjoying. So if
Mhm.
I am about a quarter of the way in or maybe an eighth of the way in and I'm not loving it, I'll just like go towards the end and
Yep.
know what the book was about. But I sat and I was like, oh, wait a second. I'm going to go make another cup of coffee. Oh, wait, I'm going to go sit outside. Oh, I can't stop. And I told my husband, I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going with you because he invited me out to lunch with friends. I'm like, oh, no, I have to finish this book. And it was that special to me. But my
Wow.
message again is don't
Wow.
judge the book by its cover. Although
Wow.
this was beautiful, I don't feel it does it as much justice as how amazing the story is,
Wow.
if that means anything. So that's my take
Thank
on
you.
it. I'm sure
And
you get a lot of
you
different.
should send Jenna
What should I
Bush or Jenna. What's her last
Jenna
name?
Oh
Beth Sager.
yes, Jennifer
you know,
Rose.
I don't even know how to get there.
You should send her a
Oh,
copy. Like we should find out. Like, who do you send it to?
I wish
I
I
mean,
do.
and
I
it's a quick
I
read. I think if you're into it as much as I was, and it leaves you satisfied. I
mm,
laughed, I cried. It touched all the emotions. It was wonderful.
I mean, this is the best afternoon of my life.
Oh, but it was satisfying. You
Absolutely.
finish it with like, yes, I can take on the world. All is good.
I really wanted something real. I like real characters. I like real messy.
Yes.
I like messy
Yes.
families. I like messy lives. I like, at the end of the
Yeah,
day, I think
reality.
right,
Yeah.
it's reality. It's
Right.
totally reality. We all have it.
And unfortunately, I have not read your first one.
A Kentucky Hug for Christmas.
Yeah.
I have to
Okay.
read that one. I didn't even know that one existed.
We need to get
So
that one.
I'll get that to you.
yes. Yeah, I have to, because now I have to have your whole collection, right? It's like I need a shelf just for you because you're going to keep going. So I'm loving this.
And I really love what we do with this podcast because Mercy and I fall in love with our authors. Like,
Mhm.
you're not mainstream, but people should be reading your book.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
not yet, but people should be reading your book. Like,
Mm.
and we become big fans, and we want more. Like,
Oh,
Yes.
I'm so happy.
there's so much room to like. There's so much more to do and grow and like share your story and your books, and we
And
just become big fans of
yes,
people
and
that
funny enough, I could envision this as I was finishing it. I'm like, oh my God, I totally could have seen this like on Netflix or Apple.
yeah,
Like I could have
like
seen
a
a movie out of
Hallmark
this.
movie would
So
be.
who do we have playing it? Who's playing it? Someone asked me the
Um,
other day, and I'm so bad at that game.
oh gosh, I don't
Well,
know, but
you
it was amazing.
mentioned the movie the writing movie. What is it again?
Oh my God,
My
you've got
brain is
mail.
You Got
You've
Oh,
got
you
Mail.
got
mail.
mail. Yes, yes,
So
Right.
yes.
it
So
made me think of the girl who played
Meg
Sally in
Ryan.
Meg Ryan
You're
right
welcome.
away.
Just
Yeah,
full of
there we
answers for
go.
you. That's all the coffee I'm eating. Coffee I'm eating and
My brain's
drinking.
not working, but your brain is working.
Mine's working for both of us.
Yes.
So I do have my section of Emily Henry, who I
Oh,
love.
good.
And then I have my whole section of James Patterson, which I had to stop because I was just making him
You
richer.
know he
And
has another book out, by the way.
every single day there's a new book of his out.
Didn't James
So
Patterson just write one with Reese Witherspoon?
No, with Bill Clinton.
yeah, but
Reese,
yes,
Reese wrote with
yes,
somebody else,
Oh, I'm getting confused.
another guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Harlan
So
Coben?
yeah, so
I don't know.
I got to look that up.
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I have all my collections, and once
Oh,
I get Kentucky, I've got my 3, and then I'm just gonna keep waiting for more and more and more because I'm loving it.
I love it. I'm so happy.
Absolutely. And I did share with all my friends
Hmm.
prior to it being released that they had to pick this up.
Good.
It is it was one of our books of the month
Good.
with our book club. So the ladies are loving them.
I love
So
it.
just want to share all that great stuff with you because
I love that so much. If you ever want to zoom in with a book club and they can ask all sorts of bookish questions, I'm happy to do it.
That would be
consider it
fun.
done. We're going to schedule it.
Okay, I love that.
Need to say no more.
Okay.
We got this. So those of you that are interested in the book, I'm going to ask on your behalf, where can they find your book other than I just saw Barnes and Noble?
Yes.
I
So
loved.
I did something, and I'm just going to talk here. I don't know what you want to cut out or keep in, or if you want it, but I did something different. With the last 2 books, I published only on Amazon. So I published paperback and Kindle on Amazon. But if you want to go wide, to get out to more bookstores and to get out to independent bookstores in California, independent bookstores in South Carolina, independent in the Midwest, even locally, or even just Barnes and Noble, you have to go with Ingram Spark. So I went with Ingram Spark to try to go wide and get picked up places. So it's available at Barnes & Noble, just barnesandnoble.com. But also, if you favor a little local independent bookstore like Thunder Road Books in Spring Lake or your little tiny local bookstore, go to their website and you can get it. So that instead of Amazon getting all the money, we support our little local bookstores, which is pretty important. Yeah.
I love that. Yes. Yes. That's a backbone of America. It's the little
sure
ones.
Is. So I'm trying to get in wide. And by the way, if you want to do talks and things in a little independent bookstore, they really don't want a lot to do with you if you're only on Amazon. That is that's their competition. Not just their competition, it's what buries them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we do have authors. One of our authors that we love, just like we love you, is Beth. She's quite a character. She's amazing. And she has a little bookstore. It's actually a house from the 1800s that she purchased in Dandridge Lake, Tennessee. It's like picture perfect. It looks like something on a book cover. And she lives upstairs with her husband and 2 children. And downstairs is a bookstore with a coffee shop. And it is out of a book.
Idyllic.
It's so beautiful.
Right? Isn't that
she's an amazing author.
Oh,
She's an amazing author. So I'm excited.
That's goals.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So I bet we could get it at that bookstore.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
Yes.
So yes,
Maybe
absolutely.
we should tell Beth to have like a Books and Martinis collection and order all our authors.
I love that.
Oh, I do too. I'll take a trip to Tennessee.
There you go. I'll be your Uber. I'll give you a tour.
I love it. How far out of Nashville is it?
I'm on the East Coast, so I'm in Knoxville, where the university is.
Gotcha. Okay.
The University of Tennessee is, where Nashville is in the center of the state, so it's about 3.5 hours away.
Okay.
So. Love it.
All right, you guys, we're gonna wrap it up because I could sit here and talk, and we have another author coming in.
Boy,
busy. Yes. So I just want to tell everybody, thank you for joining us. Pick up this book. Whether or not you've read any of her books, this is a must read. This is amazing. You're going to absolutely love it. And I cannot tell you that enough. Thank you, Judy. Thank you. And another cheers to you, to success, and to your top 5.
Cheers. Top 5 reasons to get top 5.
There you go. I love it. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. Like, share, follow, subscribe.
Absolutely. Bye.